While cosplaying is all about having fun and being creative, dressing up like a clown and chasing individuals in a parking lot enters the eerie zone. Coweta County Police got complaints of a guy costumed as a clown pursuing people around the parking lot of a Walmart store. When the police came to investigate, they found a guy costumed in a checkered clown costume with makeup and a mask. He said he was doing it in the spirit of Halloween, which was just around the corner, and that people had been approaching him to snap photographs with him. Eyewitnesses on the site provided a different reason, claiming that Barry Allen Byram had been pursuing them and scaring them. The cops detained Byram for disorderly behavior because the lady was so terrified she couldn't get out of her vehicle. Byram assured the police that scaring people was not a crime. It is unknown what went through Byram's mind before doing such a thing, but let's hope none of us ever meet a creepy clown in a parking lot. When theft isn't enough, people get innovative and discover ways to get one over on the loss prevention crowd. The perpetrators ran an elaborate ring throughout Northeast Florida, purchasing TVs, selling them to a third party, and placing a different TV in the box to return it for a full refund.
Well, Tom, investigators say those men would walk into Walmart stores like this one and pull a switcheroo, and they always did it with large flat-screen TVs. Now, this is surveillance video of the men walking out of Walmart with those large TVs.
It appears that the store was not verifying the TV or serial numbers, and the thieves were able to swap out duplicate TVs for an extended period before being apprehended. Some speculate that this may have been an inside job. Serial numbers on electronics are usually checked to guarantee that they are returning the same item. The question is, was this always the case everywhere, or was this an excellent excuse to examine some rules? This video shows a man in a disturbed state pulling food items off the shelves at Walmart, throwing them on the floor, and taking bites out of them. He also pours a yogurt drink on his head and crushes raw eggs into his mouth, while the customers and staff stand and watch, uncertain of his state of mind or whether he would become violent. It later emerged that the man was under the influence of an illegal drug, which explained his strange and erratic behavior. The incident appears to have been a case of drug-induced self-harm rather than any deliberate criminal intent. Paul Miller was shopping at Walmart when he noticed someone pouring what appeared to be lighter fluid on the Halloween clothes display. He initially thought it might be a Halloween prank, but within seconds smoke rose and the display caught fire.
My initial thought was maybe it's just a Halloween trick, they're just trying to, surprise people. Within a split second is when I saw the flames.
He alerted the employees, who quickly arrived with fire extinguishers and put out the fire. Although the fire did not spread, they had to ensure that it hadn't reached anything more hazardous, and they had to remove the smoking Halloween candy. The perpetrator was arrested, but the motive for setting fire to the Halloween costumes remained unknown. One shopper's trip to Walmart turned sour when the store went into lockdown. Yes, you heard that correctly, most of us had no idea Walmart had a lockdown policy until one customer was able to catch the whole ordeal on tape. An armed individual had allegedly entered the shop and was prowling the aisles. The doors were secured in accordance with the lockdown routine, preventing anybody else from entering the workplace and putting themselves in risk. Customers and personnel were told to remain where they were and squat or lie down on the floors. The event terrified everybody involved, and you can see in the video how afraid everyone is when the shopper's son instructs them to stop recording for fear of getting found. Eventually, an officer arrives and informs everyone that they are free to leave the premises. Further proof, Walmart employees don't get paid enough. A young man entered the store, picked up a machete and a hammer, and began to wave the machete around while screaming and fighting with nothing. The video of the incident shows him completely out of control, spouting gibberish and waving the machete around. The police were called, and negotiations with the man went on for around 2 hours, during which he continued to scream and wave the machete. Finally, the man surrendered peacefully, and the police escorted him out of the building. You expect to see vehicles doing somersaults and landing right side up on highways in highly dangerous vehicle collisions, The open road provides many temptations, and drivers often forget themselves and push up the throttle to exceed the speed limit, resulting in some of the most lethal types of accidents you'll ever witness. But what if you encounter a similar deadly mishap with a vehicle flipped right side up within a Walmart parking lot? Take a hard look at that vehicle. How do you think that happened? Let me know. Determining whether a threat is genuine or not can be challenging, but in this case, a woman's threat was taken seriously. The woman had a history of erratic behavior and had made verbal threats of violence in public, including a threat to blow up a store if she was not given money. Fortunately, an off-duty fish and wildlife conservation officer wearing a body camera approached her, escorted her and her son out of the store, and took her threat seriously.
Ma'am, Officer Alice for the Fish and Wildlife. Do you mind stepping out front with me?
The woman had a history of using amphetamines, which can cause hallucinations that likely fueled her many threats.
Go ahead and put your phone down, your purse down, and the lighter. Yes. Go ahead and put it down right now. So the reason you're in handcuffs right now is for the mason jar filled with nails and kerosene that you constructed.
If there was something like that, it wasn't mine.
Okay, well they have video of you putting that together.
Listen, it wasn't me.
When she was taken into custody, her cart was found to contain questionable materials, leading authorities to believe that her threats may not have been genuine. This incident highlights the challenge of distinguishing between real and imagined threats, particularly when they may be influenced by mental health or substance use issues.
Well, I swear if you break my window or dent my truck, then you're gonna have additional charges. You realize you just kicked the door into my wrist, right?
This footage shows a woman attempting to leave the store with a stolen TV. Take a look. In spite the beepers blaring and many failed attempts, no employees can be found. Maybe she should bring a partner next time for assistance. In an unexpected turn of events, roughly 200 individuals attacked and plundered a Walmart after it had closed for the night. Investigators state a crowd of around 200 people broke the front door of a Walmart on Fletcher Avenue, stealing more than $100,000 in goods. In the video, an inflow of people develop outside the locked store and break down the glass that houses the entrance. The crowd rushes inside. Most of the thieves go to the back of the store to the electronics region and begin stealing some of the costliest goods in the store. We think at least 200 people stormed into Walmart, and most of them went straight to the electronics section, so the costliest things in the store were what they were after.
We believe at least 200 stormed into the Walmart, and the majority of them headed straight to the electronics section, so the most expensive items in the store is what they were after.
This video shows a thief stealing from Walmart, breathing heavily as he dashes out the door with desperation written all over his face. He runs into a chaotic parking lot where many cars are pulling away from the scene as a result of an earlier gunshot. The thief attempts to carjack the first man he sees, but his first attempt fails. He then tries a second time and comes close to succeeding, but the car owner fights back and refuses to give up his vehicle. The thief runs off on foot, realizing that the longer he struggles, the greater the risk of being caught. The world of tiny video cameras can be alarming, as it allows perverts to secretly capture high-definition footage or images of individuals in private moments. Recently, a hidden camera was discovered in a Walmart store's bathroom, raising concerns about who may be monitoring people in their most vulnerable moments.
It's absolutely terrible, and there are monsters out here that will prey on all the unsuspecting innocent people.
This discovery has left residents feeling unsettled, scared, and disturbed. Investigations are ongoing to determine who planted the camera and how many other places might have similar devices.
Everywhere, not just this place, but everywhere. You have to be conscious of your surroundings. We live in a media technology age.
The incident raises the question of whether there are other hidden cameras in other private places and how people are being monitored without their knowledge. This situation with your local Walmart is not ideal, as this Walmart suddenly exploded. As the first responders arrived at the scene, they were confronted with a frightening and intense situation on the ground as they battled the fire. While engaged in the firefighting efforts and pouring hundreds of gallons of water onto the flames, they reached a critical point midway through when they realized that they could not maintain such high levels of water supply for much longer.
There is a water issue. We've been pumping a lot of water for 3 hours now, or I don't even know what time it is, but we've been using a lot of water and we can't sustain that long term.
The situation became even more perilous and alarming for the first responders as the fire mixed with explosions, intensifying the danger they faced. The flames, coupled with the risk of spreading beyond the confines of the supercenter, created a heightened sense of fear among the responders. At times, it's not just humans that pose a concern, but also wildlife. In a Walmart located in North Texas, an unexpected visitor made an entrance. Although there is no video footage, the news anchor presents pictures that would shock any customer. The surprise, however, was encountered by an employee who was collecting carts late in the evening. Fortunately, they managed to safely remove the snake. Imagine going to the grocery store, reaching for a cart, and being startled by an unwelcome legless guest. How did this snake end up there? Was it simply seeking a comfortable place to rest, or was it a result of a misguided attempt to abandon a pet? In this video is a case of perhaps racial profiling.
That was like 10-15 years ago.
What are you talking about?
He makes several accusatory statements, including disability.
Where are you taking me?
Why are you pulling me? You don't have to pull me. You know I'm disabled, right? I have back issues. You don't have to pull me, sir.
The situation involves accusations of racial profiling and other words that are intended to support the man's innocence. In the video, the woman behind the camera directs harsh criticisms towards the police officer and confidently asserts that the man being escorted away is innocent. However, it raises the question of whether his innocence is truly a certainty. By observing the video attentively, one will uncover the startling reason why the man is being led away in handcuffs, despite his protests of innocence. Rest assured, the reason has nothing to do with race.
So the reason why he's going to jail tonight is because he's been warned in the past. There's no time limit on it. I'm going to. Yes, it's called trespass after warning.
The unsettling reality of mass shootings in the United States has left the entire nation on edge, always on high alert whenever firearms are mentioned. The mere mention of a gun can send shivers down your spine, as evidenced by the alarming frequency of these incidents. When the urgent 911 call reports an individual brandishing a firearm in a crowded store, like the Beaver Creek Walmart, the adrenaline rushes through your veins, and you can't help but visualize the potential devastation that a single person could inflict upon others. Death arrives in the wrong box, and the weight of the situation tightens its grip, leaving everyone in a state of heightened anxiety and concern. Listen as the caller describes the suspect.
He's a black male, probably about 6 foot tall.
Okay. What's he wearing?
Blue shirt, blue pants.
Where is he at now?
He's over in the pet.
The offensive synchronization of descriptions evokes a strong sense of imminent danger within the mall. This particular 911 call is intriguing due to the certainty and precision of the caller's words, painting a vivid picture of the situation. The inclusion of additional details only adds to the alarming nature of the scenario.
He's like loading it right now.
In times of turmoil like these, we desperately cling to hope, praying for swift police intervention and the preservation of innocent lives. We yearn for a moment when the universe shields the vulnerable, as time becomes an urgent factor and our hearts can no longer endure the rapid beats and the creeping fear that seizes us collectively. With bated breath, we listen to the phone call, anxiously awaiting the operator's question to the colleague. What is he doing right now?
What's he doing now?
He looks like he's just trying to load it.
He's just trying to load it?
Yeah.
Confirmed.
A sense of relief washes over us as Ronald Ritchie, identified as the colleague, responds promptly. The extent of the danger is undeniably real, as vivid as anyone can imagine. The college student solidifies this fear, leaving no room for doubt when he explicitly responds to a question about the potential actions of the shooter.
Okay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Where is he at now?
He's still in the pet section. Just looks like, I don't know what he's trying to do. He's just like pointing.
2023. This is Fairborn. I'm still on online. You guys need any help?
Affirmative 90. He's in the pet section.
Beaver Creek. Yes, it's Fairborn. Do you guys need any help that way?
Not yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stay on the line. I let my sergeant know just in case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another operator takes over the call, ensuring continuous communication with the caller and receiving updates on the evolving situation. With urgency, she promptly inquires about the actions of the possible shooter and relays that crucial information to the dispatch, who are already on their way to the specified location. At this point, the nature of the weapon held by the potential shooter remains unknown. The only information we have is that the operator quickly posed the crucial question, revealing that we are potentially dealing with an individual wielding a rifle.
Sir, what type of gun is it? Is it a shotgun or is it a handgun?
It looks like a rifle.
What color is it?
Black.
The black-white rifle?
Yeah.
All right, you said you saw him load it?
He looked like he was trying to load it, I don't know.
The police are immediately informed of the discovery, accompanied by a detailed description of the individual who appears to be a significant threat.
He's a black male. What's he wearing?
Black shirt and blue jeans.
He's a black male, black shirt and blue jeans.
Yeah.
Does he have a hat or anything on?
No, he's got like an afro.
An afro? Big Freak, did you get that?
I got it. Have an afro.
Okay, please.
Gotcha.
Pay close attention as the colleague vividly describes the current state of affairs. As the events unfold, a thought starts to form in your mind, questioning whether the caller might be misreporting or lacking accurate information. Suddenly, without warning, the police storm in and the possible shooter is swiftly shot down by law enforcement. However, this critical part of the video cannot be shared. It is at this juncture that the entire plot unravels, revealing that the black man was merely holding a Crossman MK177 BB pellet rifle, which he had discovered unpackaged on a store shelf. All he had done was admire a harmless toy, yet tragically death came knocking. Very unfortunate situation. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.